Hi.
Hi, everyone. It's Nadia and Natalia again, and we're here with our podcast, Queens with Accents. And today we're going to talk about something that a lot of people don't like to talk about. What are we talking about today?
Yes, we're talking about something we don't like to talk about. We're talking about age.
Age.
Age. Yeah,
Yes.
and yeah, and I have to adjust the name because we're gonna confuse people. I'm Natasha. You just said
Natasha.
Natalia.
Natalia is official. So I was
It's
like,
gonna it's
officially.
gonna feel some people gonna send some people into rampage because who did he talk before?
I know.
to
I know.
Was it a different person named Natasha?
As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, but okay.
It's a different names here, completely different names.
But like to me, it's the same. To me, it sounds, like to me, it's the same thing. But
I
I
know,
get it.
yeah,
How like
same to me. But when people, God forbid, I say, people call me Natasha for some time, and then they heard that I called myself Natalia. That's it. Like, who are you?
yes, they
Who are
get
you?
confused.
Really? Who are you?
Who are
So,
you? That's a
uh,
better question than how old are you?
well, yeah, that's definitely not the question a lot of people want to hear, and we have this conversation so many times with so many people. Like, do you talk about your age? Do you actually talk about your age? Do you admit your age? A lot of people lie about age. A lot of people hide your age. So how do you treat that subject?
You see, like I was one of those people who were thinking like it doesn't matter, whatever, how old I am is how old I am, and I'm gonna own up to it, and I'm gonna like it, and it is what it is. We're all only aging, right? It's not like we can age backwards. So I was one of those people, like I will never sweat aging, or I will
Right,
never
right.
think about like plastic surgery in a sense of like specifically anti-aging plastic surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we all think when we're in our 20s.
Yeah.
And
I.
now I'm like, maybe I might need a facelift at some point in my life. Maybe I might need like, certain things at some point in my life. So
Yeah.
definitely I have not yet lied about my age ever, but I can see now why people do it. Before I didn't see why. Like I was like, why would you do something like that? Now I understand why.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't lie about my age, but I'm quiet about my age, and I'm gonna explain why. I started felt myself actually old from about age 20. And the reason was because I always looked younger than my age, always. And when people ask your age, and I'm like, okay, like 19. I'm like, you are 19? Oh my God! You thought you look like 14. And the older you become, the ages changes, and like, yeah, well, I thought you were like 20, and you were like 30. God forbid, you're so old. And I felt old at 20 because people like always just acted like I'm that they thought I was young and I'm this horrible old person. And I started like kind of being anxious about that question when people started coming with the age question. I became like I got to start getting anxiety, and I started talking about it. Then I just completely quit talking about my age. I just avoided it, in any possible shape or form, just talking about my age, because I don't want to. Of course, when you get older, it become a different issue of people perception of you. The older you become, how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to act, and it's like, oh my God, because at 20, yeah, it's doesn't hit you
As
the same
much,
way,
right?
as
Yes,
much as it
yes.
does at like 35, 40, and the older
But you see,
it
in
is what
my
it
case,
is.
it was different. It was absolutely complete opposite. People always thought that I was older than I
Yeah.
was. So when I was 12, people thought I was 14. When I was 14, people thought I was 16 or 18, and I guess that had to do more with maybe like the way I carried myself. I was always like super mature.
Yeah, like
Sometimes people
people.
sometimes people say, "Oh, she's 14 going on 30." That was me. That was literally me, because I always felt like over responsible for things. I was always like on time with things. I would, if I had to do something, I always did it. So and that kind of brings about like a certain way about you, and that's why people might
Yeah.
think that you're older than you are.
Yeah, but then it's like a compliment. Oh wow, okay, you're that young, super, yeah, awesome. Even like oh, we thought, you are 90 and you're just, 88. So that's, you're so young. It's a different story. For me, it was opposite. I never acted my age. I always look at immature and people always, oh my God. you know, even my kids, like,
And
they say you're acting much younger than your age.
that's true. But then also, you know how they say age is just a number, and they say that
Yeah,
because certain people they feel younger or they feel older, and that's okay. And you act a certain way, not depending on your age per se, but depending on age is more about expectations of people, right? Like what people
exactly.
expect you to do or have or be at a certain age. And if you're not, then they're like, how come? Right? Like that's weird. But I
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's more about perception of like what you should achieve, what milestone you should achieve by a certain age, more so than how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, but also when they say age is just a number, usually they people say it in case of someone when they see someone like acting or looking younger than they are. For
That's true.
example, on social media, there's a lot of people who are dancing, right? And they're like and they're very very old people. Some of them, or maybe they're young for other like they're 70, for example, but they're young for someone who's 90, and they have gray hair and everything. They dance like their bodies like look young and everything, but hair, face, it's not that young. And people, oh, see, age is not just a number. Would they say this about someone in their 20s, in their 30s? Of course not. The age still noticed, and they still mentioned it. Yeah, these people are acting in like young people, but they're still old. So it's like it's a compliment, but it's not really. It's still.
There's there's also like this thing about how people are blaming. Have you seen this thing where people are blaming actors or actresses for not aging gracefully?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
seen those like where celebrities actually speak up and they say, you know what, why are you people attacking me for being old? Like I am how old
yeah,
I am. Like I can't, I can't stop time. And so sometimes, yeah, people really get attacked for like looking a certain or having wrinkles or having gray hair or having normal signs of aging, and nobody really cares how they feel inside. A lot of people just care about like what they look like, and that's it.
yeah. Exactly. And then they do something, and they're like, we're gonna hate them for different reason. Oh, you did something to yourself. You could age gracefully. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
Or like,
it's
oh, this person had too much
too
work
much
done.
work done. Yeah, yeah. You never
Now she
win.
looks fake.
You never win. And are you going to Grage? Grage. Are you going to
Great.
Grage?
No, no, not
Graceful
raging.
age. Graceful age. Oh, see, I just created a new word. I'm going to Grage. Age gracefully.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if what's going to happen because literally my perception of age did change. I admit to that. I was always saying like, "Oh, why are people ashamed of their age? Why are people ashamed to get older? Why are people ashamed of like it's natural, right?" And now that I am getting older, I'm like, "What? No, I'm not ready yet." I get that feeling of like I don't feel that way. I feel a certain
Yeah,
other way. But on,
yeah,
on the
and
other side of things, it's funny how you know how I garden, I knit, I have not knit, what is it called? Embroider. I have old lady hobbies. Like, okay,
some kids do it. Some kids do it. They everything you do in the garden, and
that's true
there's
too.
some other hobbies that's considered
Also,
like old people.
it's I think it's that Western culture is turned aging into something shameful, really. Whereas until like as of late, right now, the trends are changing, obviously. But couple of years, maybe like a couple of decades ago, in Asia, right, in Asian world, aging was actually accepted and looked forward to. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're older than certain other people, you are looked up by everybody's looking up to you because you're older, you have more experience, and you get the respect that comes with that
Mm-hmm.
also. So essentially, getting older meant like a higher position in the society, right? Higher position, like in a hierarchy of things, and that people actually respect you, and it was like a good thing. aging was a good thing. It wasn't a bad thing. Now that everyone is influenced by this Western culture, now aging is a bad thing for everyone, for men, for women, for everybody.
Yeah, it's aging. It's not shameful for the person who is aging. It's the people, other people make you like you should be ashamed of
Exactly.
yourself. Be ashamed of yourself. You became a old person. Now, what is the other like option? Die? Like, well, it's not
Exactly.
like you have many options, or you chose to be old. Oh, I'm so sorry. I could be young forever, but damn.
But I chose not to,
Yeah, I
right?
decided to get wrinkles and yeah, all of that stuff and gray hair. Yeah, but did you hear about like switching a little bit from the beauty standards of ages to actual like how the society and politics take your age? Like just recently, I heard about England. I think it was England because crazy stuff happening in England. Want to tax people for age
What?
after 70, like they want to tax people for age.
They're taxing what? Their pensions, their retirement
Just
money?
age, like they're gonna take certain amount of their like tax, I guess some their
What?
retirement money or whatever, because they're old. You know, after 70, they have to take taxes because people are old. They're considering this seriously, considering this
What the hell?
law, and it's like, yeah, it's. People live don't live until they're 50 now. People live well into 70s, 80s and more,
Yeah.
and well, but they're not making money. And so if you're not good member of society, like you're not, I don't, I'm trying to like
I've not heard of that. I need to look
yeah,
into that and read more
yeah,
about it. But like if
yeah,
they do that, that's literally the definition of ageism. So
that 100%,
you're
100%.
being discriminated against because you lived longer than you were expected. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know what is the expectation age of living like, or it's gonna be. Some people are going to, make how what's the word is not accepted by social platform. I think unlife themselves. I think that's what people
What? Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instead of like different word, because like for example, they have a lot of kids and they're helping their kids and they think they have
Right.
their, they will leave some money for in the will, and suddenly governments start charging them for their age and they're taking away from their kids. And the older you become, the more you
Yeah.
want to give to your kids, and like, okay,
Yeah.
I lived, I guess, long enough, I can just
So
take
that
myself out.
but that's basically also could force some of them back into the workforce, right? So they're
That
going to be like,
too.
okay, well, then if I cannot, if I have to pay this tax, then I have to keep working
But who's
or
going to
go back
hire
to
you,
work.
right? Who's going to hire 70 years old or older? Like it's insane. It's like from whatever side you look at it, it's bad morally, psychologically, I don't know. It's all bad and all direction. Politically, sociologically,
That's
like it's just bad,
crazy.
bad, 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 bad. And
Definitely.
I remember that movie. I don't know if you saw watch that movie, crazy movie, Summertime, I think it's called. The group of American kids went to Switzerland, I think it was,
Uh-huh.
and they got to some like they didn't know it's some religious village
Mm-hmm.
called, and there was a lot of crazy things. But first they had like dinner, right? And it was celebration of something, and there was balloons, and there was an old couple. They celebrated their birthdays of that old couple, like 70 something years old, and the flowers and the cake and everything. I think you know where I'm going. And so they're celebrating and they singing happy birthday, and the couple is just, everyone is just invited, and then they go for a walk, and they push that couple off the cliff, because in that village, in that cult, when you turn 70, they just,
That's it. You go
yeah,
bye bye.
you're done. Yeah, they just murder you basically. So, and it was very unexpected because one of them, you didn't expect that to happen. You don't know what this movie is about.
Right. Right.
And then the guy didn't die, and they, went down and finished him off. So, and I immediately remember that movie because
Yeah, that's crazy.
is that or
It's
like
because
in
okay,
China? Yeah,
how can you really measure a person's worth or a person's um of what, like, contribution for to society or to
Exactly.
life or to anyone by age. Because okay, might not be like the greatest example, but one of the examples of the people achieving things in late in their life is KFC.
Oh,
The
the dude. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
KFC
yeah.
owner, the general, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He was
Sorry,
literally
I'm moving.
retired, and this is when he retired. This was the only time that he had an opportunity to bring his dream into life,
Uh-huh.
right? And like make this fried chicken restaurant that he always wanted to
The
do, but he
general.
didn't, but he couldn't do it, right? Because he was working all the time providing for his family. And he was well into his 70s and 80s when that actually, like, the whole thing took off, right? And
Yeah.
the chain is still alive. It's still there. People are still going there, like, and buying, right? And it's a franchise that people, it's a business that people can make money off of, right? So, but imagine what if he was like killed, or he killed himself or whatever, because he was
Unalived.
quote unquote old, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All people age differently, but even independent of that, if the person it's just a grandma and she's at home and she's with her walker in 85 and she loves her grandchildren and she sees them on Sunday and she's happy, like who decides how long does she supposed to live
Yeah,
and be happy?
yeah,
Like who makes this decision?
right. That's crazy.
Eh,
It's, yeah,
Yeah, imagine your parents, like, right, if they're at the age of 70 or they at the
yeah,
age of the 85. If somebody in the government decide
right,
they're done,
right. But on the look at
it's
it, like,
it,
I get it, right? It's crazy, but look at it from the other angle a little bit, right?
mhm.
Let's just, like, imagine, right? Say, for example, if we did live in that society where, like, you have a cutoff, right? And like, this is the age 100% that you're gonna go, right? Obviously nobody knows, like, you could, I mean, get hit by a bus, et cetera, whatever. That doesn't count, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But in general, if the accepted thing was like, okay, this is the age that you're done at, on the other side of things, imagine how many actually good things might come out of it, is because a person expecting to have a certain life expectancy, right? It's like, okay, if I'm going to go at this age, I need to be done with A, B, C, and D, and all of the other alphabet before this happens. That might actually motivate some people.
I don't know. I think it would create crazy anxiety because people will think, okay, I'm almost done. And I
Right.
didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. And I think people will be like very stressed, very depressed, very scared. It's coming. It's coming. And I haven't done ABC, and I'm never going to experience it. If they have this opportunity, still think forward and hope it's going to
No,
happen. It's
definitely.
different from,
Definitely, I get that for people who are already at a certain age right now. But imagine if you were born into this realm where you're born, and ever since the day you were born, everybody's like, okay, you only have this many days on earth. That's it. Right? And you already, like, from childhood, for you, that's something that's acceptable for you. Right? Obviously it's not
yeah.
acceptable for us because that's not how we were born, and that's not how, civilization works. But but in general, right? Utopia, not utopian, but like a made believe, like a sci-fi movie type of situation, right? So imagine if you were born and you know that this is going to happen and this is acceptable and everybody accepts it, and we all know that this is how it's going to go. I think that might actually give some people, maybe not all, but some people, a sense of direction and a sense of motivation. They're going to be like, okay, I have to plan this out real well because I know this is when it ends, versus we're just living our lives in La La Land and we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I like maybe a couple of people. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it happening. Even if young people, they know there's some young people don't even think they're gonna live, like because they're so young, they think that 50 is just
Yes.
ridiculously old, and that's where they're gonna stop. Their life is done at that age.
Right.
They're still not changing anything. They're still doing what they're supposed to do at this age. And the
Hmm.
older you become, I don't know. I just don't see it. No one becomes more like motivated. Just some people. Some people are motivated all their times, and some people just doing whatever they live day by day. I think it's gonna be the same thing because young people are. They know they're not gonna live forever. It's not gonna happen. Even though we know that some people are gonna live forever now. We know those people. They're already creating their own society. But it is a different story for a different conversation, though. Yeah, I don't know. I think it will create so much just like for example, you're 69 and you're celebrating your birthday or 68 and there's 70 70 should go. Like most people will be, this person is like gone. We're not even go to the his birthday or something. I don't know. Or some people who are they're told they have a certain amount of live years to live because they have their so many conditions, their health conditions that's not gonna give them like a certain amount of times. I don't think they change a lot of their like life habits. They're trying to live maybe peacefully, more peaceful,
Hmm.
and just more accepted of what is coming, but not like trying to
Maybe you're
completely
right.
live
Yeah, I
some
see. I
crazy
see
life.
how.
I don't know. It's like my perception, obviously
But this is
different opinion.
definitely like something to think about, right? To see like different angles of the possibilities and the situation. That's very interesting. I haven't heard of that actually. I
I
need to
just
look
hope
more
it's not.
into it.
I hope it's never gonna become a possibility or something we have to think about. Because my mom is 76. Like
Mhm.
seriously, like no.
Right.
And
It's That's crazy. Definitely age is something that's, how when you're trying to find a job when you're younger, especially if you're a recent graduate, everyone wants experience, right? And you're like, where am I gonna get this experience from if like I only had this many years on on this earth to live?
right.
I didn't have more. I don't have nowhere to get this experience from. But yes, everybody wants you to be a fresh graduate who has lots of energy and enthusiasm, but at the same time they want you to have 20 years of experience and know what you're doing.
Exactly. Very funny.
That's
Yeah, but
another.
you know that they don't put right now like age and application. They're like not allowed to ask
Definitely,
for your
and that's
age.
that's a big difference, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't know, I haven't been in the workforce over there in Turkmenistan because I've only had like one official job there, and I don't remember exactly. Maybe you remember, but from what I remember, that we were putting our dates of birth on the resume,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? That was a
Yeah.
thing, right? I'm not
Yeah.
making this up.
Yeah, you have to, yeah. And then you had Трудовая книжка, the book of your labor, and it
Right.
was everything there. Right now it doesn't exist. I don't know how it happening right now, but at our time, yeah.
But back then, you were supposed to put your date of birth on your resume.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You were supposed to put and another trend that I see right now is that in America, in the United States, they're saying don't put your graduation year
Hmm.
on your resume. Just put that you graduated and what your degree is, but don't put your graduation year, because if you're a fresh graduate, they might overlook your resume because you're a fresh graduate. Or
Right.
if on vice versa, right? If you've graduated in 1994, they know more or less how old you are,
Yeah, exactly. And yeah,
right?
and they're not allowed to employees are not allowed to ask about the age right now.
Correct. But so they can make
Exactly.
certain assumptions, right? Okay, well,
Yeah,
I know
assumption.
you
Of
know
course,
how
a
old
half
you are.
person looks. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So essentially, definitely in the US, it's a lot different than from other countries. In Korea, not only that you have to put your date of birth, you have to put your picture. And if they don't like the way that you look, and that's where the culture of
Wow. Yeah, 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 yeah.
surgeries and plastic surgeries, et cetera, it takes a big place, because if they don't like the way that you look, they're not going to hire you. So they're supposed to like you not only based on what you've done in your life, but also they like visually.
Yeah, Korea is probably number one, right, for like cosmetic industry, plastic
South
surgery
Korea, well,
industry.
Japan is also very,
Japan?
very
Oh,
good.
really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
No,
Oh,
Japan
okay.
makes really good products too. But the whole point is that the United States is trying to get away from showing
Yeah,
your age on resumes, showing your picture on resumes, so that people can actually make decision based on your experience, like where you went to school, what achievements you have, and not on your age.
yeah. But in America, everything is different. Like, not one like 100%, but people more accepted of age in America and treat women, especially for women, treat women differently than, for example, in Eastern Europe, in our countries. It's because in Kazakhstan, if you're not married by 22, you're not a
Right.
person for women, right? You
Right.
don't have kids until like 25. At 25, that's it. If you're single at 30, okay, you better die. It's like it's not gonna
In
happen.
in
At 40,
China,
forget about it.
is it in China that if you're not married by 25 or something, you're considered like a second grade woman? There's like a term that they have for those, like, you know how in Russian we say starая deva,
Да,
like an
да.
old
Yes,
virgin
yes.
type of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's the same thing, but like they have a different term, but in
Mm,
China for those women who didn't get married, quote unquote, on
mm-hmm,
time.
mm-hmm. On time, yeah. It's yeah, so I appreciate actually America for this reason because I'm single and in Russia it would be I would be living in Russia now. It would be difficult for me, right? I have no problems in like dating. I don't have any shortage of men. Of course it's less. The pool is smaller than it was I was younger, obviously. And do men do want younger women, but it's not it's still pretty big. It's
Yeah,
like I look and I'm like, wow, there's so many, and so many men, and they're looking for women in my age group, not like 20, 30 years younger. In Russia, it's
definitely.
completely opposite. In Russia, like I'm considered like just forget about it. Just
There's a
get
stigma. There's a
get
stigma
yeah,
definitely
get
of
10 cats and forget that you are like exist.
right. And the it's not only that, also it's, I think women themselves kind of feel, because of the way that they're being treated, women
There, yes,
themselves kind
exactly,
of
exactly.
also, they start wearing different, like they start dressing a certain way, right?
Yes,
Like age appropriate way,
exactly.
that
Yeah.
oh, you're over 40, you're not supposed to wear certain
Mm-hmm.
things. Oh, you're over 50, you're not supposed to wear certain other things like bright colors or short skirts or
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
else. And it's changing. It's changing. I see a lot of influencers online. I see a lot of like, Instagram, like like celebrities, et
Yeah,
cetera, that are,
yeah,
40s, 50s, 60s, and they're showing their bodies and they're showing their workouts, and
yeah,
they love themselves, and they promote that age should not stop you from
yeah.
dressing a certain way, or taking care of your body and doing the things that are good for you. And but it's definitely not at the same level as it is in the US.
Yeah, and they're still shamed. If I
They
read
are.
comments, if
They
I read
are.
comments, it's like, "Oh
Yes.
my God, look at you! How old are you? Why are you doing this?" And even on videos of our people, our influencers from Eastern Europe, where they, dancing, whatever they're doing, and they're doing it in English. And there's one type of comments in English, and there are completely different type of comments in Russian,
Definitely.
and they're so negative, and so many negative comments, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you
And
trying to
so
put this
many, and
person down?
right, and the funny part is that so many of those comments are actually from women,
Yeah, from
are
women, from
actually
a
from
lot.
women, or from ugly
Yeah.
men.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's very very different situation here and there, and just the social media, because you and I, we live for so many years here in America. We already our mentality changed. We understand the thing, and we treat people differently. We were friends at very different ages, and in Russia it doesn't happen like this. Like
Right.
it's very different here. Like I have friends, like most of my friends are younger than me, and it's because I am a mature person. But
You see, it's funny. Most of my friends are older than me. Now that you say that, now that you said
but
that, I'm like, okay, I noticed it too.
but it is like some people have only friends of their own age,
Yeah.
and I have one friend, and maybe she'll watch this affair, but she knows she's 1.5 year younger than me, and she would always remind me that she always will tell me. She's like, oh, this person is your age, and I'm like, you're 1.5 year younger, Jesus Christ.
That's not such a
But
big difference.
it's a huge difference. We're different generations. Yeah, it's quite sad because you see these women in Russia, for example, who are 10, 15 years younger than me. They look 10, 15 years older than me
Right,
because
right.
they do this. They put this. It's a special haircut. It's a Soviet Union haircut. It's, you know what I'm talking about. Our mom's haircut. It's a short
Yes,
hair,
yes,
and they get this for some reason, and then I don't know. It goes from generation to generation. It doesn't
it
go away
does.
anywhere. So they
Yes,
get this
it's
haircut.
funny.
They get these blouses that are like make them looking square,
Hmm.
and that's it. It's this ages women so much,
It
and
does. It does.
yeah,
Definitely. Clothes, yes, quote unquote, again, age appropriate clothes, right? That they think is appropriate for their age. It definitely is a difference. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is being comfortable, and how a lot of people, I see that a lot of people, they reminisce about their younger age, like when they were teenagers, when they were like in their 18, 19, right? That young adulthood slash, when they're like out of the house already, but they're not quite 100% adults just yet, right? And
hmm,
everybody's like, oh, I wish I were like 19 again. Oh, I wish I were whatever again. I don't. Like, I might be weird
yeah,
for that, but at this age right now, I feel a lot more comfortable in my body. I feel a lot more comfortable with my body than I ever was when I was in my 20s, like early 20s, 19, at that age. I feel like I was still like
yeah.
an ugly duckling at that age, sort of. I was kind of like awkward a lot.
Yeah, I think we all become like we find our own style, and most people look better with like 10 years, like after like maybe after their prime years, 20,
Well,
25,
yeah,
they look
but you
better.
see how a lot of people, they're like, oh no, I had like the best body when I was 19, or I had the best whatever when I was 19. Yeah, I don't have that. Right now, I'm
Yeah,
in better shape now than I was when I was 19.
yeah,
Right now, I have the resources, I have the means to like take care of my body the right way, to do better for myself, right? Like, I don't know,
mm-hmm,
I got my teeth straightened when I was already in my early 30s or whatever, right?
mm-hmm,
So there's certain things that I couldn't have done, and I couldn't do it when I was younger, and now I can. And I
yeah.
can afford to do it. And I feel so much better about doing that than before. So I don't miss that. I really don't. There's a lot of people who do.
Yeah, for me, wanted to be younger because I have so many ideas and so many things I want to be doing. It's not because, yeah, it's also because, of course, you have certain um, changes in your body and face, but it's more for things like I have so much on my bucket list, so many places I want to travel, so many things I want to do that, and like
You can still do it.
I
Nobody's
just, yeah,
nobody's preventing you.
I know, but you become older. It's like you want to. That's why I'm talking about like it's. I don't know how it's gonna work when you have a certain limit of ages, because do I have enough years? When I'm going? When am I going to do all of that? I like how I don't. I cannot travel to all these places in 1 year. Financially, it's impossible.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
cannot do all the things now because it's impossible to do all the things.
Hmm.
And so this is obviously there's something that I want to like days become longer and slower so I can do more things during the day, not just work. You go to work and you go home and you sleep, and it's like, okay, days gone, you got getting older, you that is not done, that is not done. So that's one thing for me.
It's funny though, like, even though we want the days to go slow, they don't. They actually go faster.
The days, yeah,
How did how does
100%.
that happen?
They fly, I don't know. And it's funny because usually people say until 20 you want your time to go like faster, you're hurrying up, you want to grow up, and
Right.
after 20 it goes too fast. My kids started telling me that the time goes too fast. They're like they were 16 probably, like why is that so fast? And yeah, and some people saying like the time actually goes faster now because of something, there's something in the air, I don't know what it is.
There could, well, yeah, like the planetary shifts, et cetera. That
Something.
that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like if there was a physicist among us, they would probably explain it to us
Probably.
better.
We need a
But
physicist.
But another thing is that also I think there's an overload of information, and the requirements that are now set forth in front of our children are so much more different than the requirements that were of us at their age. They
I
have to
don't
know
know
so
that.
much more. I never had I haven't had a personal computer until I was what, 14, 15.
Mm,
We didn't know,
you
like,
probably will. I'm a minute later. Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
essentially, like, we didn't have to know how to use a computer because we
Right.
didn't have them.
Of course.
Now they
Of
have to
course.
know how to use their computers, their personal gadgets, their this, their that. They have to know how to search Google properly, right? Like, who? We didn't have none of that. We
Yeah.
searched the library. That's what we
It's
searched.
much worse. Yeah, you go to the library and you have to remember things. Right now, you don't have to remember things because
No,
you
but
have your phone.
yes, but you have to know how to use all of those things, right?
Yeah,
You
but
have
that's
to.
that is not
They teach
that
them in
difficult.
school. In school, they teach them how to like identify like better sources of information, right? So that they understand which sources are legit and which sources are not, right? So they have to know
Yeah,
how to navigate that wealth of information that's in front of them. It's great that they have access, but at the same token, again, so much more is asked of them. They have to analyze
yeah,
more. They have to know more. They have to, like, it's incredible how much world has changed in the past 20 years alone.
yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, but I think they're like we're pre-installed, like humans pre-installed with things like you have to walk at certain age, we have to talk at certain age. I think it's like Google search at certain age. It's already nature already installed it.
But that's why I think that's part of why our kids feel like days are
Darwinism.
going faster. Is because they have
Yeah,
so much more
the
stuff that they
life is
need to do.
faster. The rhythm of life is so much faster right now. It's crazy fast. Everything goes not like in our age.
Not
Not
like
not the
back
same
in the
back
day.
day.
Back in the day, I used to write my homework by hand.
Yes, yes, yes. With
Which
my
I really
own.
did. I really did. Do you
Yeah,
remember? Do you remember
yeah.
making lines on paper, that regular paper, the A4 whatever format paper, that you had to like draw lines in order to write your report on it?
No, we had like notebooks with pre-lined already. What are you talking about?
No, no, no. Okay, notebooks are one thing. Like notebooks, тетрадки это было, that was like a different thing. Notebooks are
Yeah,
notebooks. I'm talking about when you had to write a report, like a referat, you had to write it on the like the printer paper.
it's completely out of my. I don't remember that.
You
I
don't
blanked
remember
out.
that? And
I
because
blank
the thing
out.
is
I
that
don't remember
if
that.
I were to like write things, by hand, my paper would be like crooked like this all over the place, because depending on like where I'm writing. So I had to literally take a pencil
Oh,
and
with the
make
ruler. Okay,
lines
okay,
with a
okay.
ruler,
Oh
yes, and
yeah,
then I
yeah,
would
yeah. I
write my
remember
report,
now. Oh
and then I
yeah.
had to erase the whole lines, the all of them, all of the lines I had to erase.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember
That's something
clearly.
that my daughter will never have to do.
No,
And I was like, you don't know the struggle.
I
You
don't
don't
know
know
any
the
struggle.
struggle that yes, that we had to go through and do all of
Oh
that.
my
You now
god.
good nowadays you guys just type everything and turn everything online.
They don't even have to do cursive. Talk about
Exactly. Oh no, you know what? My
line.
daughter in my daughter's school they actually taught them cursive.
18, even
Yeah.
at your daughter's age, because
Yeah.
I thought it was like my kids were like the last ones who were
No,
taught cursive in
they
second
no,
grade.
specifically they taught them cursive, and not only that, my daughter actually won this state championship or whatever it's called, for cursive writing. I was like, wow, there's championships. And I was like, okay, how do you participate in that competition? She's like,
Yeah.
they just give you a text and you just copy it and you're writing and then you turn it in. But I think it's also becoming worse with time because we don't use handwriting anymore.
No,
We
we
put everything
don't.
in our computers and our phones and everything, and that's why we're like iffy
And
about it.
your hand gets so tired fast. But I remember that on like on this finger, or like I had it on the middle finger. I'm not gonna
Yes.
show it. It will be rude.
Yes.
I had like a
I
uh,
think I still have it. I think I still have it right
yeah.
here.
I still have a little bump
Yes.
here.
Yes. Not only
It's
that,
so
I
much.
think I broke my pinky finger when I was little, And that you see, look, this one is straight and
Yeah.
this one's crooked. I think I broke it when I was like learning how to write and like nobody
Oh
paid
my
attention to it.
gosh. Let's go back to our like beauty age stuff. Do you think it will, ever disappear? Ages, like
It,
people.
no, probably not. And
No.
it's a huge industry. Think about it. All
Exactly.
of the
I like.
creams that we put on ourselves, all
Do
the
you think number one? Yeah, number
the
one.
this one. What?
Is it number one? Like what number would be? Like probably number like two maybe after food industry. No, I think it would be pharmacy. It probably would be food, and then it would be probably beauty. I don't know.
You know what? I don't know, but people are willing to pay money. Okay,
Yeah.
people like judging just by like the people that I know. People would rather pay money for Botox, right, than pay money for their like something that they really need, as far as like I don't know, a mammogram.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You
And
know,
I worked in beauty industry, and I see how much money people spend, and I'm like, they would not eat, but they
right?
would,
People
yeah,
people take out
that
people take out
procedure,
loans.
huge
People take out
loans.
loans specifically. Yes, they max out their credit cards. They do everything
Yeah,
to be pretty, to be more
yeah,
pretty, or what, be prettier. I don't know.
thousands
But
of dollars. Yeah,
thousands of dollars, and
yeah,
to look younger, right? To appear
yeah.
younger, to be like youthful
to
and
to
all that,
other people.
right?
Yeah, and of course you do it for yourself as well, because it's, you're looking in the mirror and you like what you see or you don't like you see. but
Definitely.
but I don't know, if you live somewhere in village you probably won't care, but if you live in city, where in the village the people don't see you, and you will accept yourself, your reflection. But in the city, in the big city, when there's so many people around you, you want to be accepted by certain standards.
Right.
And that's where, yeah, it's
And okay, even if you're saying like villages, even if you say village, people still have eyes. And that's the thing, right? People have eyes and they can see you and they can judge you still and they can tell you things that maybe you don't want to hear or you didn't ask them about, and they're still going to tell it to you because they want to, right? Freedom of speech, etc. It
yeah.
doesn't, I don't think it matters where you live. I think the degree differs. Yes, the degree of pressure is higher, obviously, like in big cities and in like fancy places, but I think it's still there, even if it's not like a big city or anything. It's still present, like that willingness, that want to look better,
Yeah.
to
Well,
look younger.
the more people, the more like you're trying to change yourself. Like if you live, for example, in Siberia, and there's like 20 people village, and you're like milk cows in the
Yes, but
morning, and you
wouldn't you want to be the best looking 20-year-old there or the best looking 40-year-old there out of 20
not
people?
always, not always. Yeah, maybe 20 because of social media, people like more like doing makeup and all of that. But before, young people in villages, they did like makeup and everything, but older people didn't. So I don't know how much it changed right now, but that was the true story. People really wouldn't care to take like the last fashionable eat handbag with you somewhere to like I don't know to the cow barn or something, and like, or do plastic surgery. I don't think they would do. So maybe place matter as well. I don't know,
No,
maybe
place.
where you live.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but I'm saying I think still to a certain degree it still
Yeah, to a certain
exists.
degree, yes, for
It
sure, yeah,
still exists, that pressure to look younger, to look better, to look
yeah.
prettier. It's still there. And
But it's
okay,
like,
but
yeah,
how about double standard about how men are not as pressured as women?
yeah. Well, that's never, never happened. And only men who are pressured about themselves, I think, because mostly it's young and not younger, but older men who are single and who want to find younger women. That's mostly men who would do something with their like faces, and not because they're not happy with themselves, because I think men always happy with themselves, unlike women. They always look at themselves like, oh my god, look at this hunk, I'm gorgeous, I'm handsome. But yeah, but if they want to, like, it's they do it for women who are, yeah, they want to find someone, otherwise they're happy.
Yeah,
That's what I
definitely.
think.
So
Yeah,
for men it's a totally different thing. I mean, obviously there are men who do plastic surgery, who do,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Botox and everything, but definitely it's a smaller proportion compared to women who
yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they say men, age better, they age slower,
They do age
and
slower. You know why?
they do,
Because they have testosterone. They have more
they
testosterone in their
do,
body. They can keep their muscle mass. You
right?
know, for us, for women, like the second we stop menstruating, the second our hormones change, right? All of our muscles go to crap. We have to
Yeah,
work 10 times harder to keep the muscle in our body to keep younger, right?
yeah,
Men don't have to work as hard because yes, menopause, right, does happen to them too. They do have hormonal change, but they're not
mm-hmm,
as drastic as
right,
women's. That's
yeah.
why a guy in their, I don't know, 70s can still father a child.
Exactly. And also, I think in the mirror, like men see themselves like globally. They see the whole themselves, and they're like, they feel good. And for us, and we're going, oh my God, what is this? What is that? We see
Right.
every little spot, every little wrinkle. I don't think men do that. Maybe they see hair in their nose, but that's probably if you talk about details and if you notice something small, but some that don't even notice it until somebody will like point it to them, like you have a 5 centimeters sticking out of they do something about it.
Definitely. And I think also men are not as afraid of their age either. Like they can admit it easily. It's not like a
Yeah,
taboo,
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah. It's not frowned at it's upon of some like for women, not the same.
exactly. And I think there are far less men who lie about their age than there are
Oh
women.
my God. Oh my God. That's like, you have no idea. Maybe not in real life, but because as I said in the mission, I'm single. I know what's going on in the dating world. Men lie so much about their age. I
They
think men lie.
do?
Yeah, I think they lie more than women. And they don't take like 5 years old, 2 years old. They can take 10, 15, 20 years old and of their like age, and
Wow.
yeah, they lie a lot about their age. And it's like, it's even men who are like, sometimes you like meet a person and you saw a picture and everything, and you go and you meet the person and there's like a grandfather like greeting you, and like, what are you thinking, like, why? Well, it's not even like, not like I wouldn't notice,
So
but
they're catfishing. They're catfishing women.
absolutely, my maybe like, maybe she'll be fine. But like, it's a man who I personally know, and I know the ages, and I know this person is not 15 years older, and not a business owner and stuff like that. They like about age, but about everything else. But we're talking about age. We're not talking about dating in general, because there's a lot of interesting conversation and stories about it. But for age, yeah, because they're all like, yeah, they're catfishing and they're looking for women who are, they want to date younger, and that's what they do.
That's
And
interesting. I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
yeah,
But okay, say like outside of the dating world, do you think they lie less
yeah,
than
absolutely.
women?
Yeah,
Right. So
I think they lie
when they're not
less.
looking for like a younger girl or younger, somebody to date, maybe yeah, maybe that's true. I didn't
Yeah.
think about that.
I know. We need to talk to men. Are they ashamed of their? I mean, we need to invite men and talk to them, like, honestly about the subject as well, like, because, well, from what I see, from what you see, they're not ashamed of that, and they accept it and they feel okay about it. I know some people, like a couple of people who, like one person who was turning 60, and for him it was the end of the world because he wasn't ready. Like, he wasn't ready. He's like, I can't believe it. I'm not ready.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
60.
Right.
Like, in denial, and like, so it's happening, but I don't know if it's the same level, the same as for us or
I
something
don't know. My
different.
husband, I think it also depends. I think it also depends for women and for men both. If you look better than your age, you're
Hmm.
okay admitting your age. But if you look worse than your age, I think that's
Yeah.
where the problem is. Is that yeah? But my husband, he is proud of his age because he doesn't he looks younger than his age, and so he's like, oh,
Yeah, he does. He looks good. He looks good. He has you.
so he is okay admitting how old he is. So I think it just depends. It depends on yeah. If you look good for your age, you're okay. You're proud admitting it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. Maybe for men. Maybe for men.
Maybe for men, that's true. Maybe for men, I don't know. So
Yeah.
40s is coming for me. So I was thinking about it the other day.
And
I was like, okay, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. It's coming, but I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. It's coming soon. Not like next year, but it's coming.
Yeah. Some year like hits you worse than others.
Hmm.
And I just remember that some years just was very hard. I'm like, I'm not like that particular year. Just I don't know how I'm gonna like go through this. And then boom, you wake up next morning and like, okay, I'm here.
And life goes on.
Yeah,
Everything's fine,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
The
And thank
sun,
God I'm here.
the sun is up.
So,
You know, the wind is blowing. Same thing.
yeah. For some men, the very difficult age I've heard. Well, I not here, but in Russia, it was 33. They're
Why?
like, I'm not. That's the age of Christ.
Age of Christ. Okay.
Yeah. So somehow they connected to it, and it's like they really lived up to it up to 33, and then like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm 33. I don't know why. Like they're supposed to
Funny.
croak at this age or what?
I don't
Do
know. Maybe a
something
certain
significant.
maybe a certain type of achievement is
Yeah,
required or
maybe something they
expected.
would make something significant, and they haven't done it yet, and that.
That could be
And
possible. That could
But
be.
also, men hit middle age much worse than women. They, come to it and then they drastically need to change something like it's about age 45, 50. A lot of men, from what I've heard, they started like they get divorced. A lot of men get divorced. A
Right.
lot of men get into
With your
weird
midlife
hobbies.
crisis.
Yeah, midlife crisis. A lot of men start riding bikes or travel or anything that will completely take them out of this place and this zone where they live. And for me, women, I don't think it happens like this. Yeah, we're waiting for this year, for this age, and then it goes, it changes again. As I said, you wake up next morning and, you're here. We
Hmm.
don't do any drastic changes, maybe plastic surgery, but for men, yeah. But I noticed I don't know if your husband did anything crazy. You
Well,
probably after before he
I met
married
him
you.
when I met
He
him when
married
he
you.
was I met him when he was 45. So that, I guess I was his midlife crisis. I don't
Yeah, yeah. He
know.
married you. So you're done with that. You don't have to worry about that.
Right. Let's hope we don't have to worry about that because no, nobody's buying a motorcycle in this household.
Imagine or playing drums. One of my they divorced. One of my friends, she divorced her husband. He was in middle age. He got motorcycle. He got drums, and he put a stripper pole in his house.
Was he doing the stripping?
I don't know. I have no idea if he was inviting strippers or like, but he's like he hit it. It hit him hard in the
Wow.
middle age. Yeah.
And I think
So
again that also happens because again because they age differently, because men age differently. I feel like at middle age, at about 45, 50, they still feel like they're very much vibrant and they have a lot of energy and they have a lot of like, I don't know, love for life, right? And I think
yeah.
this is where that's why it like kind of comes out and they're like, "Oh wait, but I still have this. I still have,
Right.
I can
Right.
still do A, B, C, and D." Um
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why. Whereas,
Yeah.
for women, when we're in 45, 50, this is where we normally hit, about that time we normally hit menopause. And for us it's different. For us it's a different type of change where all of our hormones go down, like we don't feel
Right.
good sometimes, right? It depends on a woman obviously, but in general that's what's happening. Like it's
Yeah.
a slight, it's not slight, it's a big change, but it's a slight
Yeah.
decline in like how much energy we might have, right? And things like that. I think that's
Yeah.
where it doesn't fit. And that's why a lot of couples actually do get divorced during that difficult
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't. At least we don't want to change our life drastically. Like that
Because we
doesn't
have enough
happen.
drastic changes going on in our body. That's why.
Exactly. That could be it. That could be it. Yeah, no, it's a subject. I think you have so much to talk about. There's like I don't know. We hit probably only the tip of the iceberg with this one, and it's just the biggest difference for me. for me it was the most interesting about it, how it's accept the age is treated in different countries and in
Yeah.
different cultures. Yeah,
Yeah.
countries and cultures. Because it's so huge. What I noticed even from my YouTube videos, for example, and I forget how men treat women in our post-Soviet Union. I forget about it until I meet with the comments, and I'm like, here we go.
Right.
That's why I'm
Right.
not there.
Exactly. Thank
And
God I'm not there. Right.
as by men, you treated here differently than in Russia, especially Kazakhstan or Turkmenistan. Forget
Oh
about it.
no, definitely. By the time you're in your 40s, your 50s, you're an old lady, and your life is now based on, I don't know, waiting for grandchildren or something.
In America, like new 30 is new 20, 40
Yeah.
is new 30, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It slowly changes in Eastern Europe as well, very
Hopefully, yeah.
slowly. Yeah,
Hopefully,
because
people will start again judging people not by their age, but by what they're doing. How active they are, how
yeah,
or well, give whatever makes them happy, or how about how happy you are, right? Because some people
yeah,
can just live their life normally without having to do anything extra, right, and still be happy. And I think that's the greatest joy and gift, to be able to be happy and at peace with what you're doing in your life. And
yeah.
I think that should be like the biggest indicator of how well you're doing in life.
Yeah, and also your passport. Yeah, we judge each other for by passport age, but people age very differently. As we talked about it, biologically, psychologically,
Yeah.
mentally,
Yeah.
by energy it changes also with age. And some people have lower energetic level, and
Right.
some people have young energetic level forever. I think I was like, if people reincarnated, I think I was like, it's my first life, honestly. And my child, like my one of my daughters, I think it's her like 25th life on this earth.
It does happen, definitely.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think yours like third,
Mine is like third. I don't
third or
know.
fourth. I don't think you first. Not for sure. Not first. You're not. You've
I
been there.
don't
You've been here.
know.
You've done that.
They told me that I'm one of the newer humans because I'm lacking my wisdom teeth.
I have wisdom teeth. That's why you're one of the like just
Like
firstborn.
I'm one of the newer models of people because I don't have wisdom teeth.
So you like you were born first time.
I don't know if I was born first time. I don't think it's a reincarnation theory. I think it's more a theory
Ah,
of like
okay.
um 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 what is it called? Evolution or something.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear anything about wisdom teeth theory.
But because wisdom teeth are something that we don't need anymore, right? We used to need them before, because dentistry was not like well developed back in the days, like 2, 3, 5 millennia, not millennia, like 2, 3, 5 like centuries ago,
Right.
or whatever, or even a couple of thousand years ago, dentistry was not very developed. So therefore, we needed extra teeth at the
Mm-hmm.
end of our life, or like older in life. Not at the end of our life, but older in life. But like now, we don't need wisdom teeth. They're like
Mm.
useless, basically.
And you think just that the evolution took them out?
I don't know,
They
but I
just
don't
not
have
don't
them.
grow anymore. Hmm.
I don't have them.
Interesting.
So maybe I don't know the way that because that old teeth are really developed when you're in utero. All of your teeth are
Mm.
already like they're pre
They're they're pre-lined. They're like
right.
you
They're
do.
presets. They're
Yeah,
preset
they're
already.
right
Like
there.
you're gonna have this. You're gonna have this, and whatever, etc. So yeah, I was made in the womb without the wisdom teeth. So I don't know.
Mm. Mm. Interesting. I don't know. I have no idea. Honestly, don't know anything about wisdom teeth.
Maybe
Didn't think
yeah.
about that.
Maybe we should talk about it next time. We'll think
Yeah,
about
but
what kind of weird stuff does your body have or not have.
my children that they couldn't lose their teeth didn't fall out naturally. We have to pull them out because their
Uh-huh.
new teeth grew behind their old teeth. So they were like
Um,
sharks
yeah,
with
that's
double,
crazy.
and they did the X-ray and we see all the teeth that were supposed to
Yeah.
come. That's scary when you saw that.
Yes.
We see
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes. Those extras are super
Oh
scary.
my God, there's so many. There's so
Yes.
many teeth. And yeah, but it's a very, very, very different story. But if reincarnation, yeah, definitely number. I'm sort my first life and your third life.
That's what you think? Okay,
Yeah,
I'll go with it. I'll go with it.
but not like 15th. I don't think you've been here that many times.
But I kind of thought that we only get four. No?
That's all you have? I don't know. I think you're born forever. You're gonna can no. Did you
Reincarnate
did
as many times as you need to?
that's what I think. Have you studied that subject? I haven't.
No, not really. Not really. I, you know
So
what?
I don't know.
I do
I
believe
don't
in
know.
reincarnation because I do believe in souls because we all have one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe. I don't know. I don't really know. I'd like. Who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows how that works. How does that work?
Yeah,
Nobody knows.
yeah. That the Indians do.
The Indians
You
do,
know, they know everything.
or
They're,
they. I mean, they think they do.
they
So
have they have one they live one step ahead of us and like they had those on aliens and stuff. Anyways, even namas, those okay, fine. Different subject. Not even I'm not even going there.
that's okay.
You
Leave
know,
the aliens for next time.
yes, aliens for the next time.
So if you guys enjoyed our rambling today, or if you have any more new topics for us, feel free to let us know. We're on
Always welcome.
Instagram, we're on YouTube. Where else are we? Where are TikTok? Where else are we?
TikTok. We're gonna be Spotify.
Spotify. Okay, that's great. That's good. So
Spotify.
let us know what you want to hear, if you like this episode or not, and we'll take care of that.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime, guys. And we'll see you and hear you. No, you hear us.
Sounds great. Bye.
Okay. Bye,
Until
everyone.
next time.
Until the next time.